By my clock, it is 2 o'clock and it's time to get started. People are still trickling in, but I do want to be respectful of your time because I know that you, as a fundraiser, wear a lot of hats and are very busy, which is why I'm so thankful that you're taking some time out of your day to come hang out with me and learn about a couple of things. Before I dive into mobile fundraising for Giving Tuesday and how Qgiv can help you do that, I just want to go over a couple of housekeeping items. I know some of you have to leave early. So if you do have to leave early, don't worry, you're going to get a recording from me. If you are not familiar with Qgiv, we are an online fundraising platform that is dedicated to helping nonprofits raise more money. If you're not a Qgiv user, some things you can expect to learn from today are how you can use mobile fundraising for your Giving Tuesday, and then a little later how Qgiv can help you do that. So if you are a client, I wanted to give you a special shout out. If you have any questions about how anything that I talk about today can apply to you, let me know. I will get you in touch with the right person and we will help you out. If you don't work with this yet, it's totally fine. You're going to take away some great best practices. When I send you the copy of the recording, you will also get a few cool Giving Tuesday focused resources. So keep an eye out on your inbox. So not only will you get that recording, you'll get some cool stuff to kind of supplement your Giving Tuesday planning. And then do feel free to ask questions throughout the presentation. At the end of the presentation, I will look through the questions box and answer as many questions as we can. So drop those in there. And I want to get right to the heart of it, right off the bat. Is text giving good for Giving Tuesday? And the answer, I'm sure you would have guessed, is yes. But I don't want to just tell you about why text giving is good for Giving Tuesday. I want to tell you how to use it. So before we really dive into why Giving Tuesday is a good choice, or why text giving is a good choice for your Giving Tuesday campaign, I want to tell you who the people are that are actually supporting you during this campaign. So if you are familiar with Qgiv, you may know that last year we did a survey of over 1,300 donors who had given a gift in the last 12 months, and we asked those donors if they had made a gift at any point during 2019's Giving Tuesday. And here is how all of the survey respondents answered. So 28% of those 1,300 people said yes, they had donated to 2019's Giving Tuesday. 38% said they hadn't given, but they were aware of what it was. And 34% said that they were not familiar with Giving Tuesday. So I'm going to break this down for you and show you how different generations answered and then give you tips on how to use mobile fundraising to connect with those generations. So the first group we interviewed were baby boomers. Baby boomers had about 17% of them actually give on Giving Tuesday. 45% of them didn't give, but they were aware of what it was, and 38% of them weren't aware of Giving Tuesday. So some things you can take away from this is that as a general rule, you're probably going to have to work a little harder to get baby boomers to donate to this campaign. There are lots of reasons why, and I'm actually going to give you a resource that will kind of go into more detail about how to do that. But baby boomers aren't terribly engaged during Giving Tuesday, but Generation X is very motivated to give during Giving Tuesday. So a full third of this generation supported a nonprofit. 48% of them didn't, but were aware of it. And about 29-30% of them were just not aware of Giving Tuesday. Millennials were the most likely to donate to a Giving Tuesday campaign. A full 38% of them did in 2019. And a very low percentage of them weren't aware of what Giving Tuesday was, just over 25%. And then we're going to look a little bit today at Generation Z. 28% of them did donate, 30% didn't, and 42% were aware of the campaign. So this is kind of how Giving Tuesday involvement worked across all the different generations. So keep this in mind. I'll send you some more resources on the different generations and how they interact with people on Giving Tuesday and what you can do about it. But just keep this in mind because we're going to focus on these two generations because they are the people who are most likely to support you on Giving Tuesday. So we're going to look specifically at Generation X and Millennials today, how you can use mobile fundraising to encourage them to donate to you. And then we are going to take a little look at Generation Z. All right. So before we start really digging into how to use mobile to connect with Gen X, I want to give you some interesting statistics about their involvement with Giving Tuesday. So 31% of this group gave gifts that were between $100 and $499. So that was the largest, or that was the most common selection. So your Generation X donors are probably going to be your larger donors on Giving Tuesday. And well over half of the people who supported nonprofits on Giving Tuesday gave to 2 to 3 different charities. So they're giving large gifts and they're giving large gifts to a couple different organizations. Their top 3 giving methods are really interesting. So one of their favorite ways to give is by responding to social media appeals. So you could count these donations either as appeals you made on social media or appeals that you made on social media and then took payment on social media. So if you've ever posted on Facebook and directed people to your donation form, that's counted. This also includes people who actually used the donate button on Facebook. 34% of this group likes to donate by text message or app. And that is why we're going to be putting a bit of emphasis on text giving this Giving Tuesday. So more than a third of Generation X donors like to give. And then about a third of them like to give in person or over the phone. So keep these statistics in mind as you think about whether or not you want to add a text giving component to your Giving Tuesday campaign this year. Millennial donors are the biggest group, remember, and 34% of them gave between $5 and $55. So they don't have quite the amount of disposable income as their older counterparts, but they are willing to give and they are currently involved in doing so on Giving Tuesday. Almost half of them gave to 2 to 3 different charities. So again, they don't have the spending power that Generation X does, but they are giving and they are giving to multiple charities. Their top giving method is by text message or app. So a third of them would like to do that. They also will go to an online form if you post that. So if you are posting on Facebook and you drop a link to your donation form, they're very willing to go through and click that. And then a small percentage of them do like to give in person or over the phone. And then while they're not the most active donor group on Giving Tuesday, I do want to take a minute to highlight Generation Z just because they are the up and coming group. We have asked ourselves a lot of questions about why Generation Z is aware of Giving Tuesday, but not necessarily participating. And one thing we found is that in the data, our Generation Z donors told us that they tend to give when they are not in school. And most years, Giving Tuesday falls kind of during final season. I think this year, Giving Tuesday is December 2nd, and that is peak Generation Z study time. So that is one opportunity you have. You may not engage them directly on Giving Tuesday, but they are willing to engage with you when school is out of session. Of those who did donate to Giving Tuesday, they were also giving between the $5 and $55 range, but 64% of them gave to 2 to 3 different charities. So the ones who did donate on that kind of big holiday are very much in favor of supporting multiple organizations. Like Generation X, they also like to give by social media channels. Putting your appeals on social are very effective for this group. 29% of them like to donate by text message, and then a quarter of them are willing to go to an online form. So you can kind of see across all of the different generations that text-based fundraising is important to each of them. So 34% of Gen X, 30% of millennials, and 29% of Generation Z want to donate by text. So what we have here is a fundraising method that is exceedingly effective with these groups of people, You just have to set it up right. So here is how Qgiv's text fundraising works with Giving Tuesday. And I'll show you how to choose a keyword, how to set it up, and how to use it so you're ready for the big day. So one thing that a lot of people kind of need to remember is that there are two primary methods of text fundraising. The one that is possibly most common among our user base is something that we call text to donate, and it's a pretty straightforward process. So your donor first sends a text message containing your unique keyword to the Qgiv number 50155. You can see an example of this over here on the left. Once they send your unique keyword, they will get a response from our system asking how much they want to give. So they'll type back maybe $30. They will then get an automated response that contains a link to a simplified donation form. They'll go over there and finish the gift, and then they'll get a link to their receipt, and they'll get an emailed receipt right away. The whole process takes only a few seconds. We actually have seen that the average text gift in this, if you're using this method, is around $90, and the drop-off rate for the number of people who start a gift but don't finish it is very low. One upside of this particular method is that you receive the funds within a few days. So with Qgiv, it's generally 24 to 48 hours. It is very fast for you. The one thing that is also exceptionally handy about this method is that you can set up reminder messages for people who begin the giving process and forget to finish. So with this method, you set up the reminders, you build them ahead of time, and then our system will send them to donors who start the donation process but forget to finish their gift. There's a really handy example over here. You can see I started a gift. I was going to give money to the Lakeland Food Pantry, and I just got distracted. The distractions happen all the time. So this is a really great way to remind your donors, give them a little gentle nudge to finish their gift. You can set up several. You can space them out over minutes or even days. And once your donor actually completes the gift, the reminders stop. So if I went ahead and tapped on that link and finished my pledge, I wouldn't get any more reminder messages. I would get my thank you note. The other method is called text to give, and this is a method that you may be familiar with if you've ever donated to like the Red Cross. The way this works is it's a little shorter process. Your donor sends a text containing your unique keyword to a different number. It's very similar to the beginning. They get a response from the system asking them to confirm their gift. And once they confirm it, their gift is added to their phone bill. Once the donor pays their phone bill, so once the billing cycle is completed and they pay the phone bill, the gift is processed by the carrier and sent to the Mobile Giving Foundation, who then sends you the money. That can take a little longer. So it is a simpler giving process. It's a lot easier for your donors to give right off the cuff. They don't really have to think about it, but it does take time to close a billing cycle. The money is processed by the phone company. It's sent to the Mobile Giving Foundation, and then they send you those funds. So there are pros and cons to each, and some organizations do both. So there are lots of options. Regardless of which option you choose, the first step is choosing a keyword. And I'm going to give you some little hacks for choosing the best keyword. So when you choose a keyword, make sure you choose a good one. And a good one has a few specific elements. It's short, for one. It is simple. Acronyms and single words are really great. We want them to be easy to remember, and we want them to be autocorrect proof. So if you have two dictionary words, like say you chose the word food bank, your donor's autocorrect is going to automatically want to put a space between those two words, and that can result in an error, which is frustrating for donors, and it makes it more likely that they'll just walk away and not finish the gift. So if you are setting up a campaign, try typing out the campaign keyword on your own phone before you submit it. If you have problems with autocorrect, or if you struggle to remember your text giving keywords, so will your donors. It's a good way to mitigate that risk. So here are some examples. So ones that are great. These are some really simple, straightforward keywords. LRC Gala, Lakeland Food, Eagle 19, and Lakeland SPCA are all simple. They're pretty easy to remember. They're a good mix of acronyms or single words. You can also throw in numbers there. Here are some ones that you don't want to do. These are very long, or they are kind of complicated, or they're difficult to remember. Or if you wrote them down like on a Facebook post and someone wants to text gift, they're probably going to have to look back and forth between your post and their phone a number of times before they can actually give. So when you choose your keyword, keep these elements in mind: short, simple, easy to remember, and autocorrect proof. And then try just typing out the number or the keyword. Ask your staff to do that. Ask your mom to do that. If you or your friends and family struggle with a keyword, you can make a pretty good guess that your donors are going to struggle as well. And here's a pro tip. As you are setting up your keywords, try setting up a unique donation form and a unique text keyword for this campaign. What that will accomplish is kind of twofold. So one, you will easily be able to attribute any Giving Tuesday gifts to your Giving Tuesday campaign. So when you are kind of doing your campaign review, you can see exactly which gifts are attributed to your campaign without having to do a lot of kind of tiresome report pulling. The other thing it helps you do is compare your Giving Tuesday campaigns year over year. So one tool that I really love in Qgiv is the form comparison tool, and that you can compare two or more forms to each other to see how they kind of stack up against each other. You can also do that with Giving Tuesday forms. So if you have a unique form for 2019's Giving Tuesday, 2020's Giving Tuesday, and 2021's Giving Tuesday, you can compare each of those forms to each other, gauge how you kind of engaged your donor base, and tweak accordingly. So it's just a little pro tip. You don't have to do that, but I highly recommend it. Once you've chosen your keyword, the next step is to spread the word. You can share these pretty much anywhere. Some of the most effective places to share for our clients include social media posts. I actually recently sent a text gift to a Boys and Girls Club that had posted about it. It wasn't this Boys and Girls Club that is here, but it was one in my area. It's really great to share in emails. It is awesome to include on any internet ads. So if you are placing ads, especially on Facebook or Twitter or other social channels, it's a wonderful place to display that text giving keyword. Put it on your website. People are going to be looking at your website on Giving Tuesday to kind of get a feel for what you're doing. Share it there. Oh, and then another thing I was going to tell you guys as a hint. Try including it on brochures if you include brochures for any of your Giving Tuesday events, or if you're doing any kind of virtual event. I know a few of our clients are planning virtual events, and they are including that text giving keyword on their event kind of signage. So even when I say signage for virtual events, it can be things like your Facebook banner or your Instagram profile picture or something like that. So put it everywhere once you have it. Another thing I want to show you is how to use outbound texts for Giving Tuesday. And when I say outbound text, I mean that as a text message that you as an organization are sending your donors. There are a few reasons you might want to do this. It is an exceedingly powerful tool, but if you do decide to send text messages, there are some steps you should take. So one, I would really encourage you to plan ahead and think very carefully about how and when you're going to message your constituents and what you're going to say. You're going to want to be very deliberate about when and how you text message people. And there are some great things you can do with text. It's a wonderful way to make urgent appeals. It's a great way to explain the impact that donors can make. And it's a really powerful way, again, to encourage gift completion. But I want to share something with you, and this is just a word of caution. One really beautiful thing about text giving is that is a very effective way to get people to interact with you. I don't know about you guys, but I get so frustrated with myself and a little overwhelmed if I have unread text messages. If you send me a text, I will read it. And a lot of people are like that. As a matter of fact, the average open rate for a text message is 93% within 3 minutes, and it goes all the way up to 95% within 5 minutes of you sending a text. So while it's a very effective way to connect with your donors, it's kind of a double-edged sword. Yes, it's very personal and very powerful, but it can also come off as very overbearing if you overuse it. And that's why I emphasize there to plan ahead and be deliberate. If you over contact your constituents, there's a very high likelihood that they'll eventually get frustrated and just unsubscribe, which is not fun for them or for you. So before you build and before you start planning your outbound text campaign, you need people to sign up to receive text messages. And here are a couple ways to do that. So share your opt-in keyword. When you share your opt-in keyword, it's a good idea to let donors know what they're going to hear from you about. So if you are running a text giving campaign for Giving Tuesday, you can say, we're raising money for this really cool project that we're doing. Opt in to receive text messages about this project. So explain why they should sign up. Are you going to send them campaign updates? Are they going to get cool impact statements and kind of a glimpse into what they've accomplished when they donate to your fund? It's also a really handy way to keep people updated if they are participating in a virtual campaign or a virtual event. You can let them know little fun tidbits throughout the event, or just remind them that it's coming up. So before you start building your text giving campaign, tell people why they should sign up to receive those texts, and then share the opt-in keyword that they will use to do so. The first step then, after you have a list of people who are ready to interact with you this way, is just to upload the list of contacts you want to contact. Remember, they must opt into receiving those text messages. It is a huge no-no to text message people when they don't want to hear from you. At best, you could just come off as kind of tone deaf. At worst, it can result in some legal issues. So make sure they're opted in. And then do make sure that you let your donors know how to opt out of a text message list. With the Qgiv system, it's pretty simple. All they have to do is text stop to that keyword, and we will remove them from that list. But it is important that you let them know how to do that. Another little pro tip is give your list a unique name so your messages will always go to the right people. I know as a marketer, I have certainly sent an email to the wrong person. It's very embarrassing. And this way you won't have to worry about sending your text messages to the wrong people, because your list will have a unique name that is easy for you to differentiate from all the others. So get your list uploaded. The next step is to create your message. And remember, I'm just going to reiterate it again. Text messaging is very effective and it's very personal. So it's very important to use it wisely. There are some questions you can ask yourself to help you ensure that you're sending it when it's the best option. So ask yourself if you are sending a high impact message. Ask yourself if you could communicate that information through any other avenue and have it be as effective. Don't overdo it. You can see this example on the left here. There is the yes example. It's a really powerful appeal. They really need our help. Hurricane Irene has come through and increased the need for the food pantry. If you are dealing with human services right now, you know what that's like. The no over here is a lot of text messages, all one right after the other. Lots of appeals stacked on top of each other kind of overdoes it. So use this sparingly. Think of it as salt in your cooking. A little bit is wonderful. Too much is not fun for anybody. So I want to go over some big takeaways here. Remember, most of your donors this Giving Tuesday will be Generation X and Millennials. They love text messaging. It's a powerful engagement tool for us. Some things that you can do to engage those people is set up text giving for Giving Tuesday. I would encourage you to come up with a Giving Tuesday themed keyword, or make sure you present your keyword as a Giving Tuesday push. And then once you have your keyword set up, share it on any social posts or fundraising emails you send. It is, remember, a big giving day. You want to make it as easy as possible for your donors to give. And now you can say with confidence that data shows your donors want to give by text. And then as you are running through your Giving Tuesday campaign, use occasional outbound text to remind your donors to complete their Giving Tuesday gifts, and then explain the impact, the progress that you're making, and your thank you messages by text. I just threw a lot of information at you in a very short period of time, so I'm going to answer a couple of questions. Let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about. Heather asks, if a donor makes a text gift, will their cell number be added to their Bloomerang donor profile? Heather, I will want to double check myself on this, but what I suspect is that the fields that the donor fills out on the donation form that they complete during the gift process will carry over. I will want to double check with my integrations guru, but yes, I believe the numbers will carry over if they are built out and connected in Qgiv. So I will get you a more thorough answer on that. My answer right now is I think so, as long as that's the number they fill out as they are completing the giving form. How much does your service cost for text messaging gifts only? Shelby, that's an awesome question. So our mobile suite, which includes the outbound texting and the text fundraising, also includes our standard donation forms, but there are two options. So you can use the platform month to month, in which case you would choose to bill monthly, or you can do it from quarter to quarter. Oh, you said you already have everything set up except text messaging. Okay, so the same applies. It's $129 a month when you bill monthly, and it's $297 a quarter when you bill quarterly, and that comes out to $99 a month. So if you just want to use it for Giving Tuesday, you can maybe enable that for the month of December, and it would be $129 for that month, or you could use it for your whole quarter, and it would be $297. When you're using the mobile suite, the processing costs are exactly the same as they are with regular Qgiv donation forms. So it's the same 3.95% and then 30% per transaction for the gift. There isn't any extra cost associated with processing. It's just the flat $129 a month or $99 a month based on when you bill things. Someone asked where the contact list comes from. Linda, the contact list that you're going to be uploading needs to come from people who have opted into receiving those text messages. So that process, you will choose a keyword to opt in. That keyword, the best practices are the same. It should be short, simple, easy to remember, and autocorrect proof. You will share that keyword with your constituents. And there are a lot of ways you can do that. You can do that on social media channels. You can include it in brochures. You can include it in emails, direct mail appeals. Any way you would collect an email address to kind of build your email list, you can do that with text giving as well. Then once you have that list of people, once people opt in, they are stored in Qgiv, and you'll be able to reach out to them from there. You can also upload lists of people who have opted in manually. So if you have a database of people who have opted into receiving text messages from you in the past, and those people are not yet in Qgiv, there is a way to upload contacts who are willing to do that. In text to donate, it returns the donors to a link to give. Is it the standard Qgiv giving page? Susan, yes. So when you decide to, or when your donor decides to give to you, they'll text your keyword. They'll get a response back asking how much they want to donate. They say, I want to donate $50, and then we send them a link. And the link is to a simplified Qgiv form. So you can choose which fields to include on that form, but the idea is to keep it very short and sweet. So it is the same kind of Qgiv form that you're familiar with using. We encourage you to include as few extra fields as possible just to keep the giving process very simple and streamlined. Um, you can ask them extra questions. We have noticed that the donation completion drops a little bit when you ask people for extra fields. So yes, it's a standard Qgive form. You can set up a keyword for a form you're already using, or you can set up a keyword for a new form that you're using exclusively for text giving purposes. Just keep it streamlined, whatever you decide to do. The last question I have is, will we receive a copy of this presentation? Yes, you will, Elizabeth. You will receive a copy of this presentation from me probably tomorrow or Monday, based on how cooperative YouTube is being. And along in that email, you will get a few different resources. I'll give you a link to the generational giving report. It includes all of the information I told you about generational giving patterns at the beginning, plus a ton of extra stuff. It also includes checklists that include lots of ideas for engaging Giving Tuesday donors in different generations, both through text and outside of text message. I'll also send you some other really handy Giving Tuesday resources that you can use as you're planning. And I'll send you some resources around text giving as well. You all have been wonderful. You've sent in so many questions. You have been so interactive and sweet today. Thank you for your time. I know that you guys are working super hard to, one, function through a pandemic, and to continue to build up for the year-end giving period. Let me know if Qgiv can do anything to help you. You're going to get the resources, you're going to get the recording, you're going to get my personal email address. So just let me know if we can help you with anything. We are here to make you succeed. That is our only job. Please tell us how we can help. You all have a wonderful afternoon. I will be in touch with you shortly. And keep an eye out in that email for an invitation to a really great webinar that is coming up, I think next week already. All right, everyone, have a great Thursday. I will talk to you soon.